Hello, everybody. Silver here. Back with more Zenless Zone Zero. Of course. I know we're in the menu again. Uh, I'm not gonna open up the new event menu because I'm gonna be stuck in that for another fucking 20 minutes. I'm not gonna open that until after the video because it worked fine after the video was done. It was still like kind of laggy, but it was like it was able to be used enough that it wasn't a problem. I did do a little bit of grinding after. I played a little bit of other things after the video ended yesterday. On Zenless, by the way. Not immediately went into Pal World like I had been. Decided to do some Shi defense, so I didn't forget. I still need to. Defense is telling me that I still need to level up my fire team and shit like that. It's also showing me that my anomaly team, the Angels of Delusion, isn't quite there yet. Not quite there. But we're getting there eventually. Now, the reason I started in the menu, I have some things I wanted to talk about. One of my friends showed me a lore video for ZZZ. And by God, does the person sound delusional? I'm not gonna like say who it was. I'm not gonna go into the details of the video. But by God, did they actually sound like they were on some types of drugs? It was seriously like just bad. And the thing is, I was prefaced that yeah, they sound like a schizo, but their predictions are pretty accurate. And then I hear some of the predictions that the person makes, and like some of them are accurate, but most of the predictions are like no shit type of things. Like they said, oh yeah, Rimiel is going to be a very important character, like a key character in season 3. And it's like, yeah, well, no shit. The end of season 2 prepared us for that. She's the Alicia of ZZZ. And they also were talking about how, like, it's kind of like a loop. And, like, again, no shit. Hoyo does that in every fucking game. There's always some type of fucking time loop. Like, you might think otherwise, but there's always some type of time loop, and a lot of theories for that like players have is that the entire thing is a time loop, even if there's only like one arc where there's a time loop of one of the games. Genshin is a good example of that. There's a lot of people who think it's a time loop in its entirety. When I feel like a lot of shit is like just forgotten. They forget their own lore. Because they forget shit in ZZZ too. Because it's never explained. Absolutely never. How we cured Vivian. As the proxy. How we, the proxy, cured Vivian. And people say, oh, it's Aether manipulation. It's because of the Aether manipulation. She was far gone enough that it wouldn't have helped. Like, no there's notes in the game about how, like, oh, as soon as there's the corruption crystallization, etheric crystallization going on, the person has passed the point of saving, right? Vivian was already growing crystals. She's already past the point of saving, technically. So, like, now all of a sudden, Wise and Bell are able to, like, heal that. I'm not buying it. You know? I'm just not. They probably anticipated a bit different, because, like, Season 2 felt fucked. Like, actually, it didn't feel good. Let me see that these real quick. I don't know if these work or not. Oh, so it does. Okay. Let me check the other ones. Okay, so some of these have max redemption levels. That one just had the max redemption level, like nobody else could do it. That's cool, I guess. Why make that? Why make the codes able to do that? They had a choice. They had the choice of making the codes, like, infinite. But there's 3 codes for you if you didn't see them. It's too bad, because I've closed it out, actually. You can pause the video and copy the code. But, no, like... I actually forgot what I was yapping about, initially. I've just got problems with, like, certain lore inconsistencies that are not explained whatsoever and that they never bring back up. As well as the whole bullshit, at least when you play as Wise, during the arc where it's like the Hollow Hunter tournament arc, you're told, hey, you can't even use the Bangbu because your eyes are that bad and it'll likely fuck you up really badly to use it. And he says, oh, I could probably only use his eyes the same way, like, a handful of times. So why is saying that? But there's literally an event right afterwards where you are Wise, but you're in Eos's body, so you have to... So you can prevent going into the hollows yourself. But that still defeats the point. Because his whole thing was, I can't use any of my proxy abilities. Like, I can't even, like, go into Eos without it possibly damaging my eyes. So, I hate that inconsistency, genuinely. I probably talked about it a lot more when it was actually going on. And I think I did, genuinely. But I hate some of the lore inconsistencies and the, oh hey, we're not giving you any lore type of shit. Also, I'm pretty sure I talked about it, but the only lore that is applicable via like Hoyo support, the only like lore that is applicable to the game is in-game lore. What's said in-game is lore. Nothing else is. So, take that as like an extra thing. So if you're going to watch like a lore video and they start talking about the music videos or anything like that, just remember, MiHoYo support told me specifically, this is the only confirmation that I have, that, because I emailed them, that the only lore that is applicable is in-game stated lore. That's the only lore that matters. So anything that's not in-game, don't take it as lore. I'm guessing. Because I did specifically state, like, the drip marketing and shit like that in, like, lore question. This was for the, is Rokudo an angel thing? And, yeah, no, it's one of those where you don't get a straight answer. You just don't. You're told, hey, you know, you are, you're just fucked, basically. Whatever the game says. Which the game doesn't say a lot in it. Some of its info contradicts itself. So, take that as you will. I will say, I don't necessarily like a ton of lore channels, because they, almost all of the time, they decide, oh hey, this thing, like, they could have a lore recap and shit, and it'd be rather, you know, normal. But then, out of nowhere, they bring in their own, like, fanon idea. And now all of a sudden, that's just in their video. Their video is just all about that. This does go back to the person that I was watching the lore video of. Although, instead of doing something like that, they don't, like, sugarcoat it. They're just straight up fucking schizo. They're straight up schizo with how it is. Oh, excuse me. And again, very surface level, like, predictions. For the most part. Very, very surface level. So, like, oh, hey, you know, my prediction is it's gonna follow the actual story of, like, Phaethon. Which, you know, that no shit. They named the proxy Phaethon. They named the Bangbu Eos. They named your first ever etheric other as Pyroas. Like, of course they're trying to fucking mimic the story of Phaethon in their own way. That's not, like, a deep take. That's not very deep to think about. And the idea that, oh yeah, Remiel is going to be a major character in Season 3. Like, yeah, no shit. Weird. That's kind of like what we were fucking given. We were kind of just told that through the ending of, you know, Season 2. Like, the very ending parts, right before Season 3 came out. It makes it very clear that Remiel is going to be a major character. So that's only a surface level take. Like, that's a surface level, oh hey, I'm predicting that this is gonna happen. Like, yeah, no shit it's gonna happen. Why the fuck else did we spend, like, 2 patches chasing this bitch around? You know? Of course she's going to be a main character. They wouldn't have spent that much time just chasing the bitch around if not. Either way, lore. Lore, the lore channels do bug me because they do that kind of shit where it's like, you have a decent thing here where you're like gathering all of the lore, but then you insert your own bullshit. And it's like, why did you feel the need to do that? You could have just had a good thing here, and now you're inserting your own ideas. Like, it's one thing to predict shit, but saying like, oh, this is the confirmed truth. This is what's going to happen. This is it. I'm right. And then, like, anytime somebody gets a similar lore prediction to you, you're just like, I'm great that other people are thinking the same thing as me, but, like, I hate that I wasn't credited for it. Like, it was your idea. Like, no. No, that's not how it works. When you think surface level, like, oh, they named them Phaethon for a reason, so it's gonna be the story of Phaethon. Like, when you do that kind of surface level thought experiment, well, no shit. It's gonna be, uh, just no shit, right? Like, you don't need to be a fucking theoretical physicist to understand that. Yeah, that's probably gonna happen. It's probably gonna be, like, the story of Phaethon. That just makes sense with the game.
Where's the research subject? What are you looking at?
It's not. That's an idea that anybody could come up with if they knew the fucking story of Phaethon. It's not a unique lore concept that you made up. It's just fucking obvious. Sorry. That got really personal, because I know the person I watched did do shit like that. They did post that specifically. They're like, oh, yeah, it's great that other people are seeing the same thing I am, but I'm upset that I wasn't credited for the idea. Like, motherfucker. You weren't credited for the idea because it's so surface level. Why would you give credit to somebody else? Why the fuck else would they keep the naming convention? They wouldn't if it wasn't meant to be. If it was just like a, oh hey, we like the name Phaethon, and Eos is just so happen, and then they named like the etheric other something else. You know? They didn't name it like Pyroas. Then the theory is completely moot and void, at least for the moment. But the fact that they named the etheric other Pyroas and are going with that naming convention, it makes sense, right? Because those are the four horses of the chariot that's used. Is Aethan, Eos, Pyroas, and I forgot the last one. I was trying to think of the last one to say it before Pyroas. But I can't remember the last one. But those are the four horses of the chariot that Phaethon rode. And, you know, that's just how that works,
Smart choice.
honestly. When you decide on a story that you're wanting to, like, mimic without actually mimicking the story, like, I'm gonna take the concepts and idea of this story and make it my own. When you do that, that's the kind of shit that happens. Where it's just like, oh yeah, it's gonna have, you know, the naming conventions, but it's not going to be 100%, oh hey, we're just going with the actual story. We're just retelling the story, like, word for word, bar for bar. But either way, I'm not gonna start beef with some fucking lore creators over this. Do I hate that people do that? Yeah. If you want to make a lore video, actually give examples of the lore that you're wanting to show. And don't include shit that doesn't make sense. Like, don't try to do fan canon. Investigate it based off of what is shown. Not shit that you're assuming is true. Because then you're just a fanfic channel. You're no longer a lore channel, you're just creating a really weird fanfiction. At that point, at least. Because there are things that, like, we know Hoyo does that are very obvious. The loop thing, they always do that at some point in their games. Like a time loop arc, they always do, you know. A lot of bullshit. A lot of bullshit. Currently we have the Elysia, which is Romeo. Which means we're getting, I believe, closer to the time loop thing. Oh, shit. Fuck. But either way, it's not like, it's not that big a deal, I guess. I'm still gonna be, like, kinda fucked up about that. Because I had to watch it. It was a fucking hour-long video that took us 7 hours to watch because we were sitting there just dumbfounded. And we had to go back through, me and my friends. We went back through to look at the lore that this person was talking about just to show that, hey, that's not... This is the stated lore. But they did use the defense that, hey, my lore videos, I don't look at the surface level lore. I think that's all misdirection. I look at the actual lore behind the lore. Which I don't think Hoyo is doing that. They're not that fucking deep, brother. They're just not. Either way. Thank you all so much for watching. And if you enjoy this content, you've made it 24 minutes in, and you want to support me in ways that aren't just watching the video on YouTube, you can go to one of the two links down below. The first link is my HoneyGame referral code link. I'm not sponsored, that is just my personal referral code. And in order to support me through that link, all you have to do is click the link, sign up for HoneyGame, install the app on either a PC or an Android device, and just use the device how you normally would, and you're good to go. You're already supporting me that way. As far as the other link, that is my Ko-fi link. It is just a donations page. There's no exclusive content on it, and it's not intended to have exclusive content, at least for the moment. But who knows in the future, right? Uh, but only do that if you really enjoy my content and you really want to help support me in getting better hardware in order to improve the setup. Either way, if you've watched 25 minutes into the video, yes, you. I wanted to talk to you specifically. The people who have made it this far, watched the entirety of this, of me ranting. Thank you so much for watching. Not many people make it this far, which makes you very special in my eyes. I'm very glad to have you here, and I'm glad that you enjoy my random bullshit enough to even listen this far. So, wanted to say thank you. And to everybody else, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.